to Word Blindness, Dyslexia Exposed. This is Juliet Hahn here with Brent Sopel, still in the holiday cheer. Why are you making that face?
Brent
Sopel. I was like, wait, did I say it wrong? I didn't say it wrong. Sopel. Yeah, he's still in the holiday season. Where did you go? Okay, so we're going to be... I'm hoping, I thought you were going to get a hat, but you can't find that, can you?
Yeah, I don't know why I lost my buddy to health, my hat.
I remember this last year.
Remember that little white one? It was that little...
No, you never... We were going to do that when I think the first season, you talked about this costume and you didn't have the hat.
No, I threw it away because it was about that high and it had the little string under your neck. So,
so it like kind of choked you.
So I didn't want that. So
we hope everyone had an amazing holiday season. But what we do want to talk about is the poor kids that really don't like school, that now have to go back after being home and having a little bit of rest and are not in the mood for it. Like just giving them a little grace, which is hard because you just had a lot of parents, when you have the kids all at home, sometimes not everyone loves that. It's a lot of chaos. It's a lot of holiday stuff. It's a lot of sugar. It's a lot of not sleeping. It's not a lot of schedules.
No sugar in your house because all you eat is fucking the real sugar or the not.
First of all, we do have sugar.
Wow.
I have those, but then we also have
is it the gay not real sugar?
No, we have those, but those are called the Unreals.
Unreal, yes.
We have those, but then we also have these chocolates that are delicious that they have caramel and pretzels in it. And I ate so many pies. No. It was like, I actually one day I had to go to bed at 8:30 because I haven't had that much sugar in a long time, which I used to be like gummy bears and Fun Dip with the stick. I mean, I was a sugar addict. I had sugar issues.
We found the Fun Dip in the grocery store yesterday, all the powder in this long
like a pixie
sticks.
Yeah.
Like 2 feet long. I'm like,
the plastic ones?
Yeah. Real long. I'm like, whoa.
I know those.
I'd love to dive into that right now.
Yeah, but see, then it like gives me canker sores in my I can't do it anymore. My body, now that I'm in menopause, you can't handle things the same way because you don't process it. It's very annoying. Anyways.
Speaking of,
are you going to say speaking of menopause?
Speaking of menopause.
Oh, okay.
I learned about there's 4 cycles in a woman's menstruation. I think I had 17 podcasts yesterday about women's reproductive system. Those are from you.
Was it some on pause? Yes, I sent a very good one.
And can I tell you, I would rather...
Are you going to say something nice?
I'd rather listen to nails on a chalkboard than her voice.
Oh, really? I like that. Which one?
I don't know. No, the host.
Huh. I'm not going to say it, but her voice doesn't irritate me. That's funny.
No, it was so boring.
She's a gynecologist. She's not supposed to have a lot of...
No, but it didn't keep my attention. Well, because, we had like 7 others going on the rest of the day.
So are you sure it's the one I sent?
Oh, I know so, because we had a long conversation about it.
Interesting. I haven't finished it. I'm only halfway through.
I learned a lot. It was very intriguing.
I sent it to a bunch of people after listening to 10 minutes. I was like, oh, this is a great one. And I was like, I hope it really is a great one.
Well, there's never silence in our house. There's always a podcast. It may be a Megyn Kelly. It may be an Alex Clark. It may be, who the heck knows? I never know.
Recording a podcast.
So there was a lot of women reproductive system podcast going on a Sunday.
Interesting. That's good that you learned. You're very thoughtful.
Yes, now I know. There's 4 cycles, so just I feel privileged to know that there's 4 stages to a menstrual cycle.
The frozen shoulder. All my shoulder issues. I was like, you know what? The doctors don't tell you that. No. Oh, it's because you're working out too hard. It's this and that. Go fuck off. There's actually a reason. It's not because I'm working out too hard.
Well, she's always had the podcast plan. So yesterday, after the 65 feet of snow that we did get. I got to learn all about women yesterday. Thanks.
Look at that. It's nice. That's nice. I don't know that Daniel would sit there and listen to that. So
let's just be 100% clear. There was no sitting involved. There's very rarely sitting in this house involved. Yeah. It's pacing. It's walking in and out. It's dealing with the dog not wanting to go outside in the cold.
Did you shovel a nice path?
No, I haven't shoveled the path for the dog because the snow is too deep.
That's
what I need to do. Correct.
Yes.
Yes. That's what
so
I'm
then
supposed
she
to do.
can go out and go to the bathroom in like a little spot, and then you don't have to.
This little princess here, no. She wants to go on the leash. She wants to go down the road. She wants to mark her spot. She wants to find her spot. No, there's nothing easy.
Got it.
I woke up in the middle of the night, or 2 nights ago. She chewed like a half a log of wood. She ate half a log like a goddamn beaver. I'm like,
did she throw up afterwards?
Oh, she didn't, and I'm sure she had some splinters, coming around her butthole when she went. But half a log. That's what she did while we slept.
Interesting.
So
fun stuff. So even the dog doesn't want to go back to school. But in all seriousness, there's a lot of anxiety that goes into it. There's a lot of different things that you might not be aware of, especially if you're not aware that your child's struggling. It's just these kind of things of having these conversations, being aware, being a parent that maybe says, well, okay, wait, why don't you want to go back to school if your kid's like, oh, I don't want to go back? There could be underlining stuff. No one really wants to go back after break, right? You're like, you just had fun. It's now like, we got to get back on schedule. I mean, some kids, I guess, want to go back.
You're right. And for me, and I heard this somewhere. I don't know where I heard this. On a clip or where was it? It was. I've been told where to be, when to be my whole life. When that ended, I was lost. Right after hockey, same with the kids, but especially kids struggling with learning disorders. Walking in that school, there becomes a. Let's just think of taking a picture. Right, obviously, you want a cloudy day. You kind of want that haze, right, to make the lighting brighter, whatever better. Instead of this perfectly blue, clear, super sunny day. Well, that haze is how we feel when we walk in that school, right? We kind of get a numb, a cloudy haze through us, through our brain. Like we're walking into this place again, shoulders go up and we tense up. We forget things, because now there's blockages. Now there's anxiety. We're back here again. Like when I used to fight in hockey, I hated getting my ass kicked. Who wants to, it was a punch in the face contest. It hurt. It wasn't fun. Broken nose, bleeding. But that's what walking into school was. Felt the same way. Was that punch in the face. So it takes 4 or 5 days once the holiday starts to decompress for those kids. Now they decompress and they're having a great time. It takes them a long time to get adjusted, to go back to a place where they're not comfortable, where they don't fit in, where they're not accepted. So there's definitely going to be a grace period. Like as parents, when your holiday's over, you're bitching and complaining. Oh, I just want another day. I don't want another week. Kids are the same way. And I'd probably say even worse, to the point of meaning they're not rationalizing that, like we're out. All right, we have to, right? We know we got to do it. It sucks, right? But the kids don't understand that portion of it. So it's probably going to last a little bit longer. It might take them a week or 10 days to get back into that schedule, back in that mode, back into finding ways to get around this situation or around that situation, or the anxiety, the stress, the exhaustionness that goes into all that is overwhelming.
Okay, I have a question for you. Because you said you liked routine and when you, obviously after hockey when you didn't have routine, but how were you during breaks where there wasn't, I mean, you probably still had hockey, right? I mean, I know like there's certain times, you get certain times off, like Truman, even with basketball, like he'll have a couple of days off, but there's still practice because it's a winter sport, right?
Yeah,
But
there's no days off.
right. So, but how did you, like when you were practicing when you were a kid? So like I'm taking this like for a parent to be thinking about the kid that some kids do, as Brent said, you thrive in routine, right? When you're out of routine, you everything just relaxes. Like I know I'm all or nothing. So like during holidays, if I don't do like a little bit of work, which I've gotten really good at not doing, but then it's really hard to go back into it. Oh, it's like when I'm done, I'm like, that's why even like on vacation, I'm like, I just let me check an email here or there because if I'm completely checked out, it takes a lot to get me back in. And then it's like that things. And you have to think about a kid, whether they're that same sort of personality or not. So when you were on break, yes, you were out of school, but it was a different routine.
Let me tell you, obviously Elizabeth and I share an office. I come in a million times a day, say, hey, this is a good idea. I just talked to this person, or I did this. She's had to learn, and it's very hard I cut her off, right? She's in the flow, right? She's in that space. Now to get out, to turn, to answer me, to engage with me takes her out of that, which is really, really hard for people with ADHD to get going. Like, so sometimes I have to leave the house because I always want, hey, how's this sound? What is it? Going in and out isn't productive. So sometimes I have to leave, and when it comes to the question, for me, routine was hockey because that was the only thing I was good at. I didn't sit and read red fish, blue fish, green fish, purple fish. Like I didn't read any of that. Like anytime I could be on the ice was when my life changed. So it didn't matter if it was in the garage. It didn't matter if it was in the basement. It didn't matter if I was practicing with my team, So for me, it was a little bit different. That routine is finding what I was good at, right? We always talk about strengths in school, right? Obviously, they never talk about the strengths. It's always the negative. The hockey was my strength, my positive, where I got my self-esteem. So as long as I had that involved during the break, I was good. As soon as I stepped out, I could step away. I hated school so much that as soon as I stepped out of that school, I never thought about it once.
Right. Now, were you the type of kid though that was like, okay, I mean, especially living in Canada in the winter, you obviously had access to go play, right? And so were you, even if you didn't have practice, were you out there, like you would get up early and get out there? Or were you like, would you just take it and relax until you had a practice or something?
So just where I grew up, in Saskatchewan, which is Montana, North Dakota border, kind of go north, just about every school has an outdoor rink. As a kid when I grew up, I don't remember one Halloween without a foot or two of snow. Minus 50 is half our winter. So just to give you paint the picture, there's always outdoor rinks everywhere. Now, was it shoveled? It was always flooded, right? So I always had the place to go. I could walk through the park. There was, from my parents' house, there's a park across the street. There was 3 outdoor rinks in a matter of, a mile. 2 of them were schools are literally side by side. So I could hit a golf ball on one outdoor rink to the next. So, there's too many people here. There's a game going on. I couldn't fit in. I could go to the next one. There's for me, it's not like I lived in Florida, right? Where there was only rink.
Right.
I was blessed with, or on a pond, or like it's minus 50. Like you're not falling through. So, I grew up playing on those outdoor rinks or out those ponds, or I always had access. That's, for me, it was my saving grace and probably saved my life if we talk about it, because I could find a place to go and be myself, right? Get on that ice and be myself, and that self-esteem. Like I said, if you're living in Florida or Arizona, like you didn't have that. Yes, could you go on to rollerblading? You're right, but still, even that access. Yes, you could do it on the road 100%, or in your driveway. I'm just meaning rinks or things set up to that. So I was lucky to live in a place where I did have that access. So the school that I went to, you'd walk out the mudroom doors, and you probably go 50 steps, and the rink's right there. Mm-hmm. So every recess, every gym, I wanted to be out there. I was late every time coming in to the game, so I had access to those things. But if I didn't, I 100% wouldn't be here. And if I didn't have hockey, I 100% wouldn't be here today, because I didn't have anything else to live by.
Because I was thinking, and the reason why I'm bringing it up is just interesting. I want parents to think about their kids as you were just speaking, and I can talk about to Montgomery. So he's a soccer player. So he's at home from college. A lot of kids already go back. Last year, he had a crazy long break.
Yeah. Didn't he come home in Thanksgiving last year and not leave till the new year?
It was at the end of January. This year, he's home. He doesn't go back, because his school is very international. So which is great. I mean, it's probably 60% international. I mean, his soccer team is mostly international guys. So they let them go home at Thanksgiving. Not that the international guys are, celebrating Thanksgiving overseas. Some of them are doing other things, but they let them have that break and let them go home and train if they want. And then they go back. But this time they're going back early January. So right after the new year, he's
home now. The golden child. Yes.
I was waiting for you to say that.
The golden child. So he's now home till 2026.
Yep. Oh. But so for him, he's okay, this is great. I finished school, but he is so disciplined with his sport. So he has a trainer that he goes to, but if they don't have an indoor facility, he's outside in this freezing cold. I know it's not your freezing cold, but it's still in the 30s. I'm sorry. That's still cold. It's still cold.
Well,
everyone else is going to agree with me.
If you play soccer, you're really not tough. So it just kind of lines up,
Right. Exactly. But he's already he's I'm fine not doing it Thanksgiving, but he's up today, already going to the gym, and then he'll be working out at 6 a.m. with this trainer. Because it's where he gets his self-esteem.
That's it. And that routine for me was knowing I could get my self-esteem. It's almost like a drug. I know I can go buy my drugs, my crack, or I can go buy my coke. I know I'm going to get it. It's when you don't know you're going to get the next fix, and that fix could be work. That fix could be food. That fix could be sex. That could be drugs. There's a million things that go into this. It's not, eating, eating too much, too little. These are all defense mechanisms to your trauma.
Mm-hmm. But so the thing that's also interesting though is, because are you all or nothing? I don't know.
I'm all or nothing, but I can be taken down so quickly.
Right. But I mean all or nothing, where if you, with Montgomery, he knows he's the same way as me. If he doesn't keep his toe in it, he's out. And and then it's so hard to get back in. So he's people are just take 2 weeks off, just take it. He knows if he takes 2 weeks off, it's going to be so hard, because his mind and everything, he's now oh, I'm totally relaxed and I don't need to be as disciplined and as straight. So he knows he has a goal. If he takes himself out of it, it's going to be it's just people going back and forth to the gym or whatever, taking themselves out. But when you're all or nothing personality, it's even harder.
Well, and I don't even know, you're correct if you're all or nothing, but I think for us is a little bit differently, because we believe wholeheartedly, we have nothing else. Like, Montgomery believes all he has is soccer, right?
Yeah, right now.
Right. I believe, it was hockey. Only thing I'm good at. I don't bring anything to the world. Is, we talked about this last podcast. That's what that's what I knew. That's what I believe. That was the only thing I was good at. Montgomery's the same way, right? Soccer's all I got. That's why my routines were so wild and crazy in the NHL. And for an example, like on the ice, when there's the TV timeout. So obviously you go to commercial journey to, some guys, playing in the NHL, they'll look up in the stands and, see if their kids are there or see other people or what's on the big. I couldn't. I had to I was literally in my own world doing my little figure eight on the ice. And if I looked up in the stands, I knew my game was over. My head was in the game, wasn't in the game. I couldn't do it. I couldn't look up there to see something funny going on, like a kiss cam, or I couldn't look there because it took me away. Then I knew. So it's a little bit different, but when you believe and know all you have is that one thing, it's not a fun way to live. And that's how we're living right now.
So a couple things, and this is what I want parents to think about. And the reason why I wanted to ask those questions is because thinking about your kid and then thinking about your kid going back to school, like I hated going back to school, but I also loved going back to seeing my friends. Like I was like, I can't wait to go back to see my friends. I was like Miss Social, whatever. I couldn't wait, especially if everyone was away. Like that was like fun. So I hated it. But then there was a part of me that was like, I liked like certain parts. I liked the sports, as Brent and we talked about, like he didn't have the sports in school. Like we had that attached to our school. So I knew that I had that. At the end of the day, we had practice, right? Or I was doing something with like my friends in one of the sports, because I played 4 sports. And some people would play 1 or 2. I was like, nope, I'm playing 4. So I did every season because I knew after school that was like something I knew I was going to be good at, self-esteem kind of stuff. If you think about your kid and they're like, again, really giving you like, I really don't want to go back, especially now we're full on into school. Everyone is full on into school. I know like private schools, they get the big long break. They get like 2 weeks in March. I think that's across the country, but maybe it's just a thing. I know all of our private schools, they get like a tiny little Christmas break, but then in March, they get like a 2-week break. And so it's like kind of like it's choppy. But if your kid is like, when's the next break? I can't wait. Or like you see that they're anxious or quiet or like just acting different, just check in, especially as the kids are getting in the harder grades. We used to always talk about the younger kids. Definitely that's really important. But then as your kids are getting into the harder grades, if all of a sudden they've never had problems, you're all of a sudden listening to this and you're like, you know what, they are acting different. Things are getting harder and they might have one of the 5 Ds. There could be something going on, you don't know. Just check in with them, find out what they're excited about to go back to school, if at all. And then you can kind of ask those questions and get a little bit of a kind of a window into what your kid's thinking.
Well, we were talking about this the other day. They're talking about, parenting and how crazy the world is and how crazy kids are now. I think that parents have never been in a worse mental situation in their lives. And who's it falling on?
Yeah.
The kids.
It's a lot of stress for parents.
Right. And they can't verbalize. They can't, I couldn't verbalize all the things I can now back then. Right. I've learned what I've learned, about dyslexia since I started the foundation 8 years ago. I didn't know. I couldn't answer any of these questions. So, it's we can blame kids and we can point at kids, but parents are in that worse situations, and teachers aren't your friend. So let's be clear. They're not there to help your kids. To expect they know because they're educated. They're not educated in any of this. So it's even more stress for parents. It's even more important to have conversations and ask questions and remember how they answer them, because that's how I can tell so many things months before things come to fruition, how they answer things, and as a parent, I know we're all struggling, adults, even more than we ever have, in the history of this world. But it's key to ask questions and remember how they answer those questions.
I was going to say something. Now I totally forget. And that's not like me, but then I was thinking of something else. So clearly it wasn't important. But to your point is that, well, because it was interesting. I know what it was. One of my friends was telling me years ago, we were going back, and they said, like, their second grade teacher they were really good friends. Like, outside of school, they were really good friends, and they were nervous that their child was dyslexic. And they said, and maybe it was like first grade, whatever. It was when the kid was young. And the teacher was like, no, I think it's just like they're, a little bit slow. I think you're looking into things because their one child was already dyslexic. And the mom was like, let's say the teacher was named Jenny. Like, Jenny, I really kind of think it. Can you just keep an eye? And she was like, you're being paranoid just because your other kid is. Like, don't worry about it. I'm telling you, they're fine. And it was their best friend. And the kid wasn't fine. 2 years later, he was diagnosed. And the mom was like, I asked, and she's like, well, no, as teachers, they're not taught to look for things. And this is where there's so much disconnect. Teachers are not, and that's not the teacher's fault. They're going into teaching. They're not supposed to. There's some teachers that, yes, are just innately, they'll look for things, but you're not supposed to be looking for deficits. You're teaching to the kids that are quickly learning, right? They're running around. They're like, oh yeah, I got this. You're teaching to those kids. And then the kids that are kind of like, the hell, what's going on? And they're like learning how to kind of hide and not tell you that they're struggling. You're missing those little nuances that we like to say. And it's just so many things, even in colleges, even with IDA and bringing them back up. Yep. The ones that are doing accreditations for colleges, like, what are they teaching them? We've had, if you haven't listened to those 2 episodes, season 4, which we're in, but 11 and 12, we go into the definition. You want to listen to 11 first and then go to 12. But like, these are the people that are the ones that are telling the teachers what they should be learning, if the college is even doing any deep dive in dyslexia at all. And so people are like, well, no, but look, they've done a whole accreditation. They have a whole course for dyslexia, and it's IDA sponsored. Well, I don't trust that.
This is going to be, obviously we say some staggering stats, and we are one of the only 501c3s, which is charity foundation, tax deductible, in this world that is for dyslexia, ran by dyslexics. So next time I talk to a woman, I'm going to tell her how to feel during her 3rd stage of her menstrual cycle.
You just learned about it, though.
I just learned about it. I know I'm an expert at it. So I'm going to tell her how she feels during her 3rd stage. And when I get slapped, I'm going to say, exactly. But that's how crazy this is, that I'm an expert in the woman's menstrual cycle because I listened to it on a podcast. Same premise goes for dyslexia. None of them have dyslexia. None of these charity foundations have dyslexia. IDA, READ, Canadian Dyslexia Association, the list goes on and on. They don't have dyslexia. they, again, I can't tell a woman how to feel pregnant, or I can't tell a woman how to feel at any point in time, right? Then how can they tell a dyslexic? They can't. They don't have it. And that's a staggering stat. The fact that, we're 20% of the world has this, and we're one of the only foundations in this world that is ran by dyslexics. Like, that's staggering. And where I was going back with this is that the education system, you tell them something, they're going to know, I'm the expert, I'll tell you what to think. They don't take suggestions. They know better than us. Just ask them, they'll tell us. From a teacher, from a principal, from a superintendent, all the way up to Congress, right? They're going to tell us how to feel, just like I'm going to tell a woman how to feel when she's pregnant.
Yep.
Just chew on that.
I'm going to leave it at that. But check in with your kid. Check in with your kid and go listen to those other podcasts, because you'll understand, especially if you're like, well, no, that's IDA. There's organizations out there that give information. Just go meander and look at that, and then listen to those podcasts. But check in with your kid before they're going back. I know when this goes out, they probably have just gone back or they're going back. Just see how the first week is. See where they're.
It's not going to be good. Let's be clear. Just be prepared. Just know why. Just know what the anxiety is of going back into it. Just like you going back, going back to the office full time. How many people had COVID, now they got to go back into the office full time, right? That big change. How long is it taking? Same kind of thought process with your kids.
With the kids. Yeah. So just be gentle, as even if they're annoying you because whatever, they don't want to go and they're whining, their stomach hurts. Just be gentle and ask them questions and let them know that you understand and you're there to listen. Maybe
they'll get a big, nice Bill's lunchbox to take with them.
I'll leave it at that. Thank you for listening for another episode of Word Blindness, Dyslexia Exposed. Don't forget to do what I always say. Go rate and review. We've had some actually new reviews that I've been meaning. The next podcast, I'm going to read them. I'm doing this with my finger again. But go and share, because so many people need to hear this. You don't know who is struggling right now and needs to hear this episode. Thank you.